This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling, doing another episode of Boundary to Boundary, Colorado High School Wrestling. Our guest today is Greeley Central head coach Eric Penfold. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing pretty good.
How's your day going so far?
Just another day in paradise, just finishing up wrestling practice. Happiest place in the world when you're a coach.
Yeah, being at practice in the wrestling room.
Absolutely.
Give us a little background about your wrestling background and your coaching career background.
My wrestling background, I wrestled for my dad out in Wiggins through junior high and high school. From there, I wrestled at UNC for 3 years. Injuries kind of cut everything short a little bit on me.
Did you wrestle for Mong?
Yeah, I wrestled for Jack Mon. I was there when Chris Nelson, Tony Bonello, guys like that were there. Ted Gallegos was upper class when I was just coming in, so I had a lot of time around Tom Wagner, some of the guys that are still coaching around the state right now. So it was a good networking thing for me as far as getting to know who's who of Colorado wrestling, and then moving forward, I've been able to build some relationships with those guys in the coaching ranks now.
Okay. Where's your coaching career?
I started out just kind of helping my dad. And then from there, I actually was coaching at Greeley West for 2 years as an assistant coach. And from there, I went to coach under Coach Arano at Eaton. I helped him out for 4 years just as a helper coach. From there, I took the position here at Greeley Central, and that was 15 years ago. So I've been here in the orange and black. Started in orange and black in high school, and in orange and black again.
All right. Keep those same colors going.
That's right.
What were the results of your last year's team?
We had, dual-wise, we were about 500, a little above 500 in duels. Tournaments, we were always kind of, we weren't ever in the top three, but we were on the upper side of most of the tournaments, just because we had a couple big point scorers that would always keep us in the bigger the tournament, the better we would do, obviously, with some of the talent we had last year.
What were the results at the state tournament?
Team results
and regional tournament.
Regionals, we were third or fourth. State tournament, I think we ended up 11th. We had the one, like I said, we had a few placers. We had our state champ, Boo, Cody, and Michael Cerna, both placed for us. So I mean, we had a handful of guys that did pretty well. We took some young guys to state last year.
Well, you say a handful of guys that did well. I mean, Andrew Alirez, finished up his career with you, being a 4-time state champ. I mean, let's put it out there. Take credit, a little credit for that.
No, I can't take any credit for that. That's a once in a lifetime talent for a coach. Just when they say that those kind of wrestlers, I learned more from him than he could have ever learned from me, as far as just his mind works different than the average person. Just his days broke down into how most efficiently to achieve his goals, and that was pretty cool to be around, just to see how that worked, because most kids don't plan their day on how to get their workouts in, how to most effectively get their workouts in, where to maximize their workouts. So he'd come in here and he'd help as much as he would practice, and then he would go get his tougher workouts in, after practices. So, just we didn't want to hamper his goals, and so, we just tried to kind of do what he needed to do when he was with us, and then he got in all his other stuff on his own. So he was a fun guy to be around, and he was a great kid for me to learn from. So,
and he started his career over at UNC, and doing quite well already. He's 11-0. We wish him luck in the season.
Absolutely.
What do you have for returning team members?
Well, we have his little brother Xander Alirez. I have a lot of freshmen, sophomores. We got 30 kids in there that are freshmen, sophomores, and I'd bet 70 to 80% of our lineup will be freshmen, sophomores. I have Michael Cerna's like my one returning state placer who's an upperclassman.
He's a senior this year?
He's a senior this year. He'll be wrestling 220s.
Well, he pumped out that big, huh?
Yeah, he got a little bigger this summer. So hoping he has a good year. He's been looking good. He's working hard. The little guys, I have a couple I had JV state champs, and I had them bookended. I have the 98-pound JV state champ, and then I had the heavyweight JV state champ. So they're both going to slot into our lineups. Obviously, the varsity level is a little different than the JV level. They'll take some lumps, but they're working.
Okay, let's go back and talk about your other kids on the team. We just got done talking about your bookends that are coming in at 98 and heavyweight. What else do you have coming in?
Transfer-wise, nobody's really transferred in. That's gonna make a huge splash. We get kids here and there popping in, but I don't know who's all gonna stick it out yet. It's a good group of kids. I'm enjoying them. It's just there's gonna be a steep learning curve. We're gonna make a lot of mistakes early, so.
A little young team, you said,
Yeah.
with freshman and sophomore.
Yeah.
How many juniors and seniors do you have on the team?
I'm trying to think. I think I have probably 7 or 8 between the two of them. But who actually have wrestled for us, we're probably looking at 3 or 4 that have actually been on the mat for us as varsity wrestlers. So I've had a good run with really knowledgeable kids who know the technique. And this is going to be a different year. It's going to be fun for me. I'm going to have to actually do some coaching this year. I'm going to have to really break stuff down.
You haven't coached before?
Well, it's when you have the teams that we've had, a lot of these kids come in that have.
You have the talent.
Yes, they've been raised since they were 6 years old in a wrestling room. So you kind of take for granted when you start drilling single legs, double legs, high crotches. They just know it. This group, we have to break everything down, really show all the little steps that are involved. It's been fun though. I'm actually having a good time. I always have a good time, but this year this group works hard. And
refreshing your memory how to do it step by step.
It's making me relearn myself how to do things step by step. So it's been fun.
So what's your coaching staff look for this year?
I'll have Brian Rudy. He's been my steady big guy. He works really well with the big guys. And then Anthony Castillo. He's been stepping in. He's been great. He came from Highlands Ranch. He's a Ray guy. He knows a lot of people. He's got young energy. He works really well with the kids. He takes them around. He does a lot of summer stuff with them. We're really blessed to have him. I can't say enough great about him. I have Curtis Blasberg. He comes in when he can. My dad kind of peeks his head in here and there just to kind of mostly critique me.
Try to keep you straight in line.
He coaches me, so that works out good too. He always has a lot to say, and he's great. He can break down technique as good as anybody. So between those guys, and then we have Charlie McMartin. He's a teacher here. He wrestled for UNC. He's a great guy. He's a super positive person, and he works well with the kids. Like I said, he's in it for the right reasons. He's in here to help them get better. It's not here for any personal glory. So those are the kind of guys I really appreciate. So those guys being in there every day, like I said, it just makes our room more fun, makes for a real healthy learning environment too.
What did you do for preseason workouts?
We started up, I guess 3 weeks before. Just kind of do like an hour and a half. We'd start kind of the guys who weren't playing football. We encourage our guys to play football, play baseball, do whatever. But in the preseason, if you're not going to be doing that, we get them going 3 weeks out just to kind of get their lungs used to the breathing and the conditioning. And even the football guys, when they come in, I'm like, it's a different type of conditioning.
Yeah. Now football, I played football in high school too, but that's 30 seconds, then rest for 30 seconds, then go for 30 seconds. And you're actually not going that full 30 seconds. In wrestling, you could go a whole 6 minutes without, maybe 10, 15 seconds rest.
Absolutely. I mean, and then just the muscle groups that you're using in wrestling. You can have all your muscles firing at the same time. It tires you out in a hurry. So our preseason goes like that. In the summer wrestling, we just kind of do 5 or 6 weeks. We encourage the guys to do a lot of stuff, if they're interested in it. we'll find time to, help them, go with them, coach them, whatever they need. I don't want to hinder them. At the same time, I encourage them, hey, if you're working out with Bear Cave or anybody in the off season, I'm like, do it. I'm like, they're going to show you good stuff. They're going to show you different stuff. I'm not the kind of coach that thinks my way is the only way. I love when I have guys in the room that, like the coaching staff I have now, I always ask, what's their variation on the moves we're showing? Because just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for my guys. So
and one kid can pick up something
Absolutely.
different from another coach and another style and make that move work a lot better.
Absolutely, and that's what I love. Like I said, every year I try to learn more and more. I mean, and the way wrestling's been evolving since when I was wrestling, it's crazy, and I love it. So then it like it says, it makes it new and fresh for me every year. Flow wrestling's made it a big thing where they break down technique and stuff. But I mean, I'm still a meat and potatoes guy. I just want to get to our standard attacks, and it usually works at all levels.
Meat and potato works really well.
Yes, it does.
So what does your schedule look like?
We backed it down a little bit. I mean, we're not going to go to the Doc Buchanan. Obviously, we don't have the horses. We usually were going to the Battle of the Best the first weekend. We're kind of backing out of that too, just because our dual team's going to be a little bit young. We'll still hit the Christmas tournament. We try to focus on we try to make it down to like the Lewis Palmer tournament, see some of the teams down that way, and then kind of a variation of dual tournaments and standard tournaments, just to try to maximize the amount of matches we can get for our kids, and and trying to get it more level. We're not trying to make it easy, but we're not trying to just burn them out either. We're just a little young for that.
Do you have any girls on the team this year?
This year they're doing that unified team here in Greeley. So my buddy Dave Fosdick, he's coaching like the girls unified Greeley team out of Northridge, and so I think he's got 2 or 3 girls from Central that are over there. It's one of those tricky things. A lot of times, getting it. I've been talking to the different girls who are interested, and just being like, you need to, if you're interested in this is a great opportunity for you. And I love it. And I'm like, I said, Dave's a good coach. He's got a daughter on the team. So he works really well with like female athletes, because he's a softball coach. So he's kind of got that down, which, it's an art form. Dealing with, if you can coach.
Dealing with females, athletes is difficult as a male coach.
Oh, yeah.
You got to, I won't say handle them differently, but just a different style of handling them.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where I'm like, I think the town of Greeley is very fortunate to have Dave Fosdick as a coach who's spearheading that, because he does work well with female athletes. He understands them. He knows how to motivate. And I would, I'm up for the challenge, but the fact that we have the opportunity just to be like, hey, if you're wanting to participate and you're a female, we got the perfect coach for you. So I think the town's very fortunate to have.
I know Poudre School District's got a unified team, and I think Loveland also has a unified team.
Yep.
So I think that's the way they're going right now, until the schools themselves have numbers up to 12 to 14 girls.
Which I think that's great. I mean, at least then, you get, if you're going to have a duel, you can have a full lineup duel. 2 unified teams is better than watching 5 girls at different weight classes try to fill in for a duel, because Greeley West and Greeley Central want to duel each other. Each of us have 5 girls. I'd rather you throw 15 girls onto a unified team, and then they have practice partners, and you have competitive duels, and you get that team camaraderie and all that stuff when you go to tournaments. And I think that that's a really great thing for the sport of girls wrestling.
What are your season goals for this year?
Have fun, and we'll qualify a few. Get these kids, like I said, we want to peak in February, and there was a lot of years when I first started here where that was the goal, just to get better every day. Some of the best compliments that I ever received were from coaches that I really respect, and they said, after we watched you the first weekend, we didn't think you would qualify one person for state, when we qualify 4 or 5. So I'm like, that's the kind of season I'm shooting for. I'm wanting to have a good, fun year. I want these kids to work hard, and they are. And, we'll see what happens when all the dust settles at the state tournament.
You've had kids come through your program, quite a few now. You have some of them are in the coaching staff. You got Devin Wolf over to Platte Valley. You got Fonz Aragon over to Northridge. Any other of your student athletes are in the coaching ranks?
Well, like I came in right after Tony got done. Tony Mastari at Eaton. He's a friend of mine, so he was a Central guy. And you know, like Bryce Wolf's helping Devin over at Platte Valley. You know, I those are the ones that I know of. I've had guys come in and help me, like Linscomb when he was at Valley. He was in here for a little bit. Now he's gone. Ruben's in. It's been fun. Like I'm around a lot of really, really fun guys that know how to coach. I mean, the guys that I have in the room right now, like Anthony Castillo, he's a capable guy that could just take over a program in a second. Brian Rudy, same thing. So, I mean, the guys that have been around me, I'm very fortunate to have got to know, and that's what makes it fun when I see them at tournaments. I mean, I know these guys a little bit, and you know, they want to beat our guys, and we want to beat their guys. But at the end of the day, we're all kind of friends, and we all kind of take notes, and we all love the sport of wrestling.
All right. Well, good luck in your season.
Thanks,
I thank you for giving me time for this interview. This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling.